Bread in the mud. Night has teeth in this city. Stone streets slick, cold mist, torches burning low. Somewhere, a church bell tolls the hour slowly, a tired heartbeat. You find him in an alley. A loaf of bread lies in the mud, trampled, wet, ruined. Beside it, a cloth purse torn open, coins spilled on the ground. A man is on his knees, hands shaking as he scrapes together the scattered coppers, his breath a harsh rasp in the cold air. His clothes are threadbare, boots are splitting, ribs show through his skin. He whispers to himself under his breath, as if trying to stitch his heart back together with words. It was for them. It was all for them. Only the shadows here, and tonight, I am that shadow, the nameless. Step into the dark with me. The Nameless introduces the city of hunger. The city has decorative walls, castles, gates, gardens. The Lord's manor at the hill's crest, lit by warm firelight you will never reach. And at the bottom, crushed under tax and tithe, narrow streets, crooked houses leaning on each other, smoke from 100 hearths trying to hide the stink of rot and sweat. Men like Owen. He works where work is cheapest and hardest, carrying sacks of grain at the mill from dawn till his spine screams, hauling stone for the masons, hands blistered and bleeding, chopping wood until his arms shake like leaves in winter. He lives in a one-room hut with a roof that leaks and a door that doesn't close tight. And inside, his wife Linda, pale, coughing, fever licking at her skin. His son Leon, thin for his age. His daughter Lena, small, quiet, eyes always watching. Winter has arrived hungry, and it's not leaving, taking everything with nothing to give. The choice, born in desperation. The healer in the lower quarter does not lie. He has seen too many like them. The fever is deep, he tells Owen, washing his hands in a cracked bowl. She needs tincture of willow and herbs that don't grow in this forest. I can order them from the next city, but it will cost. How much? Owen asks. The healer tells him. To a lord, it would be nothing. To a merchant, a forgettable coin. To Owen, it is a mountain. I will work, Owen says. More days, more hours. I can... There is no time, the healer cuts in. The fever will not wait. Owen stands in silence. There is nothing to be said. On the walk home, the world sounds muffled. The town crier's voice, calling out new taxes, the clang of the blacksmith's hammer, the laughter from the tavern. All of it feels very far away. You see the luxury, but it's all out of reach. Owen counts his options. There aren't many. He's already working from dawn to dark. He owes the miller. He owes the tax collector. He has sold what little they owned worth selling. As debt wraps around his throat like a snake injecting venom slowly, he thinks of Linda's breath, shallow and hot. Leon's bony shoulders, Lena's eyes too old for her age. He realizes something that breaks him, something undeniably true. Hard work alone is not enough. It will not save them, not in time. So when a stable hand mutters,
"The merchants from the east arrive before dawn tomorrow. Heavy carts, full purses."
the words sink into him like hooks. He does not answer. That is the answer. He whispers all night. He listens to Linda's coughing, his cold hands holding hers. And it repeats in his mind, just once. One theft, for them. He repeats it 3 times in his head. By the time the sky turns from black to bruised grey, he has made his choice. The night at the cart. The eastern merchants camp outside the walls before dawn. Too early to enter the city. Too tired to guard everything. A canvas-draped cart. A small fire burning low where the guard has fallen half asleep to its warmth. You stand there with Owen, watching his breath fog as he crouches behind the stone wall. His heart beats like a war drum. "I am not a thief," he whispers, as if saying it makes it true. "I am a father. I am a husband. This is for them." Fields don't care who harvests them. Coins don't care who holds them. Cold doesn't care who freezes. Tonight, he has convinced himself morality should care less too. As sadness creates a blade of anger, his desperation is a sharpening tool. Life gave him no options, it is all he can do, and so he waits until the guard's head droops, until the fire crackles low. The road is empty. Then he moves. You follow closely. Every sound is loud. The crunch of his boot on the frozen ground, his own breathing. Inside the cart, he finds it. A small chest bound with leather straps, mostly hidden under crates of cloth and pottery. He cuts the strap with a shaking hand. Inside, pouches of coins, wrapped parcels, a few rings glinting faintly in the low light. Every coin represents a fed son, a happy daughter, and his wife cured. So his hands hover. He does not empty it, not completely. He tells himself he is only taking enough. Holding to what mortals he had left, he grabs a purse, heavy with coin, and a single wrapped bundle he hopes is worth something. He slips back into the night, clutching the stolen weight like a lifeline. They are light in his arm but hold weight on his soul. The guard stirs. Owen freezes. The man just shivers and falls still again. Owen runs, slipped through the dark, back toward the sleeping city. In his mind, he's already at the herbalist, already buying medicine, already saving Linda. He can already see the smile she lost. He does not think. Who did this money belong to? He does not care. He convinced himself it's him against the world. The man with nothing. The city wakes angry. The Lord's men ride along the main road. Merchants shout. Voices rise like smoke. The cart was robbed, someone yells. A thief in the night. You follow Owen through the crowd as he keeps his head low, coins tied beneath his tunic, pressing against his skin like guilt made solid. At the edge of the market, he hears it, a hoarse voice arguing with a guard. He turns. You turn with him. That's when he sees the man he stole from. Not the wealthy Eastern caravan master, not a fat merchant dripping in silk. No, a man in patched clothes, face hollow from hunger, hands shaking around a battered cap. I told you, the man pleads with the guard. I only rented space on the cart. One chest, my goods, the spices I traded my last cow for. My wife and children are waiting in my village. If I return with nothing, they starve. The guard scoffs. Not my concern. The chest is gone. How? The man cries. I rented the space. I slept on the ground to watch the cart. I only shut my eyes for a moment. I sold everything, he yells in tears. His knees give out. He drops. Right there in the mud and straw, he kneels, fingers digging into the frozen earth full of cracks and blood. I did everything right, he shouts. I worked. I saved. I promised them I'd return before the snow grew worse. I did it all for them, keeps repeating. The guard walks away. The people around avert their eyes. No one helps him. No one cared. You feel Owen go still. Those words cut through his heart like a sharp blade through flesh. Every word from that man's lips is a mirror shoved into his face. He hears his own desperation, his own promises, his own silent prayer. It's for them. It's all for them. He looks at the man's hands, red from cold, cracked from work, empty. He sees his own, looked a lot like his, full of stolen coins, full of another man's last hope. For the first time since the theft, Owen understands. He did not steal from some faceless rich stranger. He stole from another father, another husband, another soul doing everything he could not to drown. He stole from himself. The breaking point. The purse of coins feels heavier now. He could walk away. Linda needs medicine. His children need food. Isn't his suffering just as real? Isn't his need just as pressing? Every man is on his own, but that man in the mud could be him in a week, or tomorrow, or tonight. There could be another thief as desperate as me, and I become the very consequence of what I've done. I am no better than the ones who tax us until we choke, Owen thinks. I am no better than the Lord's men who take and don't care who they ruin. The realization cuts deeper than any blade. He stepped back into the same alley we first saw him on his knees, chest heavy, heart pounding. I did this, he whispers to himself. This is my hand, on his throat. And something in him breaks. Not his pride. That was already broken. It's him against himself now. His excuses, his illusions. He unties the purse from beneath his tunic, fingers trembling. He could still keep it. He could justify it. He could say, if I don't, my family suffers. But now he understands something ugly. Either way, someone's family suffers. He whispers, I'm no God to decide whose, nor am I a devil to be the cause of it. And so if he keeps this money, the screams he will hear in his dreams will not be the Lord's, or the merchants, or the guards. It will be this man's wife, this man's children, and that he cannot live with. Returning what he broke. Owen steps out of the alley, clutching the purse. The man is still on his knees, head bowed, lips moving silently. Prayer, apology, or both. Owen approaches like a sinner walking toward the altar. His throat is dry, his palms sweaty. The words feel like gravel. These coins, he croaks, were yours. The man looks up slowly. His eyes are raw, red from cold and hopelessness. He looks at the purse, then at Owen. Suspicion, confusion, anger. Are you mocking me? The man rasps. Owen shakes his head. I took the chest from the cart, he says, each word costing him. I thought it belonged to a merchant, a rich man. I never asked. I never thought. His voice cracks. I didn't know it was yours. I didn't know it was everything. He drops to his knees too. Now they are both in the mud. I'm sorry, Owen whispers. I did it for my family. That doesn't make it right. I did it, and I saw you, and I saw myself. I am you. He holds out the purse, hands shaking. The man stares. I should call the guards, he says slowly. Yes, Owen nods. You should. Maybe you must. I will not run. The man looks from the coins to Omar's face. He sees the dark circles under his eyes, the calluses, the patches on his tunic. He does not see a villain. He sees a reflection. Do you have a family thief? He asks. Yes, Owen whispers. A sick wife, 2 children. The man closes his eyes. He takes the purse. But he doesn't stand. He doesn't shout. He doesn't call the guards. Instead, he lets out a slow, exhausted breath. We are both drowning, he says softly. You grabbed my head to push yourself up, and you almost killed us both. The words hit harder than a fist. Owen bows his head. I will not steal again, Owen vows, from anyone. Not for bread, not for medicine, not for anything. The man huffs out a bitter laugh. We say many things when the mud is cold and the pain is fresh, he says. But can you still say that when your children are crying from hunger at your feet? Owen meets his eyes. Yes, he says, voice steadier now, because if my children eat at the cost of someone else's hunger, then they eat from another man's grave. I won't lay that curse on them. Something changes between them. Not forgiveness, not friendship, recognition. The man tucks the purse. You owe a debt, he says, not just to me, to yourself. Pay it the hard way, or you'll end up worse than me, not poor, but rotten. He stands. He walks away, leaving Owen on his knees in the mud with nothing except the weight of what he almost became. And with the judgment of fate, he became the man sharing tears with the mud. The hard road, chosen on purpose. He returns home with empty hands yet again. No medicine, no bread, no coins, only truth. Linda's cough greets him at the door. Leon's looks up with hungry eyes. Lena runs to him, small arms wrapping around his leg. He tells them everything. Not every father would. I stole, he says quietly. I stole from a man as desperate as us. I gave it back. I stand before you with nothing but shame. He waits for anger, for blame. Instead, Linda smiles weakly, tired, pained, and proud. I married a man, she whispers, not a wolf. I would rather die from this fever than live by stolen bread. Death comes to all and can't tell apart a rich man from poor. We are but memories, and I'd like to be the wife of a man of purity, than one that gives in to corruption. She points to her kids, bruised, wet and tired. They took after their hard-working father. Leon wipes his eyes. I've been going to the docks, he says, carrying nets for the fishermen, for a chance they might toss us a few spare fish. Lena says quickly, old Mistress Rena needed help mending. I've been helping her. She always says her eyes are failing her. Owen stands in silence, his eyes covered a tear, just one, warm enough to keep him strong. Something shifts in that tiny, leaky house. The weight is no longer all on Owen. His family sees the knife pressed to his soul and says, we stand with you. And so it digs less deeper in his chest. From that day on, he takes every honest job he can find, longer hours, harder labor, less pay, but clean. Leon runs errands, hauls buckets, and learns to gut fish. Lena sews, mends, scrubs steps for coins so small they almost vanish in the palm. Linda's condition worsens before it improves. Sometimes it feels like their honesty is killing them, but there is a strange peace in their suffering now. They look each other in the eyes and see no blood on their hands, no hate, no ill intent. Something pure, something rare, something. If put on a scale, no amount of money can meager to. The harvest of reflection. Seasons turn. Winter gnaws at them, but doesn't swallow them. One day, many days later, Owen passes the market gate and sees a familiar face. The man from the mud, still thin, but not hollow. At a stall with small sacks of spice, a simple wooden sign, and two children helping count coins. Their eyes meet, no words at first, just a quiet nod. He offers herbs from his lands in exchange for a night's shelter and a roof that barely holds. Owen accepts. A shared understanding. We survived. We did not become monsters to do it. The man raises his hand in a small salute. The Lord Steward, noticing Omar's reliability, offers him steadier work maintaining the outer wall, still hard, still underpaid, but constant. Leon learns from the fishermen. Lena's stitching grows so fine that townsfolk begin to seek her out. They never become rich, they never rise high, but they do not sink. And some nights, around a small, stubborn fire, there is laughter. The nameless speaks to you. We stand again on the edge of their world, watching a bad choice that hurt more than it helped. You've seen it now. A father who stole not from a faceless empire, but from another father. A man who realized, I did not just steal his money, I tried to steal his chance to save the ones he loves. The man who was destined to save the one I love, and that realization cut deeper than hunger ever could. He could have stayed that way, could have kept stealing, could have built a life on other men's ruin. He didn't, not because he was pure, but because in another man's brokenness, he saw his own reflection, and it disgusted him more than poverty ever did. Remember this, I say. Sometimes the thing that saves you is not your goodness. It's the moment you see how ugly you could become, a new dawn of a heartless faith. The moment you realize, if I keep going like this, I will turn into the very thing I hate. That shame, that horror. If you let it, it can become a compass that builds a world of your choices. Owen didn't become a saint. He chose to pay his debts the hard way, with sweat, with time, with shared burdens instead of stolen ones. You feel it, don't you? The quiet power of that choice. He walked away from the easy sin because stealing from that man in the mud felt the same as stealing from himself. And in a way it was. I stepped back into the dark. There are more stories, I whisper. More fathers, more failures, more people who almost became monsters and turned away at the last second.